when my son gets older, because I do think you're supposed to have conversations that make sense at appropriate ages, right?
Yeah, so same.
If he is at the point where he is asking those questions and he is curious as to like, Mom, why don't I ever see anyone from your side of the family at this point? I would be frank with him. And that's just the kind of person that I am. And I only say that because when I had mentioned very earlier in the podcast, when I was 8 years old and I had asked my mother that conversation about the incident that happened, the domestic violence incident that happened when I was very young, 5, 6. And she just kind of looked at me and said, well, you're too young to remember that. And that was the end of the conversation. I never want my son to be in a position where he feels like he cannot come to me, the person that he is believing is a trusted adult, to have those hard conversations. Because if I can't have those hard conversations with him, he is going to seek that kind of comfort elsewhere. And
Yeah.
that's the worst thing for me as a parent that I don't want him to do.
Yeah.
Keep it age appropriate, but be honest, because not telling the truth or sugarcoating it or glazing over it is a part of the problem.
Yeah.
That's normalizing it within its own self in its own way.
Mhm.
I would want to know the ways that your siblings wronged you, because that reiterates to me they're just not a safe person. This person is not safe.
Mhm.
That makes sense as to why you no longer have that relationship.
Yeah. And I love that you're saying that you're going to be frank with them, because I think that's also just so important. I feel like, of course, age appropriate and having obviously just like some filters to an extent of being. 'Cause my point, what I'm getting is that I feel like a lot of people just like in society are scared to just be honest with people. And this is going a little slightly off topic, but I'm the same way too. I'm frank about things. Like, I also just feel like being honest with people, of course, naturally in a respectful way, like not like yelling at people or cursing them out or anything like that. I just feel like that's just so important. And I'm really glad that you're teaching your son that, because I
Mhm.
feel like the next generation, I just feel like it would just help communication just
For
overall
sure.
with like the human race. Like if you think honestly, the human race sucks at communication. Like
Yeah.
I read like some of these books or whatever, and I mean we already know this, but like it's so true. Like I feel like there's not much education on like how to properly communicate feelings, because people who are not really healed, it's like you're stepping on eggshell. I think that's why people are scared. It's kind of like a trauma response if you really think about it. I feel
For
like I'm
sure.
sure there's probably maybe some time in people, and this can go back to childhood and no, sorry, feeling safe around parents. Because I feel like that's when it starts. And I'm having like this like moment right now where I'm like, oh yeah, like if you grew up and you were like upset about something, you go to your parents and they like say to you, like dismiss you. It then creates this like your body learns, okay, don't be honest.
Mhm.
Because everyone's gonna respond like that. And then if you're not being if you and you subconsciously learn that kind of in a way. And so, cause it seems like, yeah, it's unsafe. This honestly, I had like like multiple roommate situations.
Oh,
This
okay.
can read over to roommates.
Yeah.
I feel
No,
like
that's true. That's
roommates
still a relationship.
are is like the biggest, like one of the, at least from my experience,
Mhm.
like honestly, I am such an open person. Like if I do anything that pisses you off, please tell me.
Yeah.
It's like how
Yes.
am I like, also it's like how can like people like know, like some things can bother other people. Like actually this would happen to me. Okay.